YouTube, how's it going? Welcome back to Bananas Epic Gaming. And today on Bananas Epic Gaming, I'm going to be filming another episode of CageTalk, and it is going to be a re-ranking video. And now, last time I did the series and the movies, but this time I'm only doing the movies. And if you haven't guessed it yet, I'm going to be re-ranking and ranking the Scream movies, 1 through 5. Please keep in mind that this is just my personal opinion. Let me know yours down in the comments below, and let's get into it. Coming in at last place is Scream 4. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Scream 4, but it's the weakest in the franchise for me because of the toxic fan base of a certain character. And the movie was good at the time it was made. 2011. And over the years, I've found that I really didn't like it that much. And it was like one of the only movies that I went to the movie theater and I had people walk out like not even halfway through the movie. Yes, I know that the kill count is extremely high in this movie. I believe this is the highest kill count for a Scream. But spoilers alert for Scream 5. There's an Easter egg in Scream 5 that confirms the fate of Kirby. Kirby's alive, and Judy Hicks, who's the sheriff in Scream 5. She was a deputy in this one. She also survived. Everybody else in this movie died. You kill off your entire next generation cast in Scream, and I really didn't see where they were going to go with a fifth one if it was going to be made. But obviously, we know where they're going to go with it now. Spoiler alert for the killers. Jill, she's one of the better killers in Scream. I just don't really like her as a killer because people say she's better than Billy and better than Stu. And no. And her acting was over the top in her I'm gonna beat my own ass scene. Charlie Walker, I didn't like that killer reveal at all. He was just in puppy love and would do anything for Jill. And he stabs Kirby, who would not give him the time of day. So, obviously, yeah. But Hayden Panettiere in this movie did a amazing job. I loved her in Scream 4. And if she were to come back for a future Scream movie in a cameo, I would be down for that. Now on to number 4. And when I say number 4, I mean my 4th ranked Scream movie, and that is going to be Scream 3. Okay, let's talk about Scream 3. Scream 3 had multiple things going wrong with it. The original script was about a bunch of kids who are in a fan club at Woodsboro High that loved Stab 1 and 2. They wanted to try and top Sydney's stories so their legacy could be their hometown's legacy. That was used for the TV show The Following. Then the Columbine shootings happened, and the killer that was in that one, the kids from Stab 1 and 2 fan club, the killer was supposed to be Stu, and that's why people are thinking and saying that Stu is alive. Then we get the Hollywood setting, and they were going to give us 2 killers. Who's going to be Roman Bridger, who is Sydney's brother, half-brother, and Angelina Tyler, who played Sydney in Stab 3. So that was the storyline for Scream 3, and all the drama and all the bad stuff that happened to that. The opening kill, they killed off Cottonworthy. That's the second time they killed off a person from the first movie, because if you remember, Cotton was just in the first movie from video footage. So they kill him off in the opening, and it's all because the killer wants to know where Sydney is. And we find out that Sydney is helping people via crisis counseling. She's a crisis counselor. Gail is doing seminars, and Dewey is basically on the set of Stab 3. So the killer is going after everybody that is on the set of Stab. He's going to kill the Stab 3 cast. From there, we get a Jay and Silent Bob cameo. They're outside of the Stab 3 set when Gale gets thrown out. Sidney comes to LA after more of the killings start to happen and sees that the killer has been leaving photos of her mom. Back when Sidney said that she wanted to see the set of where the photo of her mom happened, we meet Martha Meeks. And then we are given the rules to the third movie, or the trilogy. And fast forward, we'll get to the third act, the cast party, and we find out that the killer is her long-lost brother. Now, this movie had a lot of potential. The thing that hurt it is that the writer, who didn't really understand the characters and the universe that Kevin and Wes made in this one. But good. It could be good, it could be better. But knowing it could have been better sucks. But I'll take it. It is what it is for this movie. Now let's get to the third ranked movie. Coming in at number 3, I know I might get a little bit of hate for this, but it is going to be Scream 2. Now, Scream 2, the movie starts off with a movie theater opening. Jada Pinkett Smith, who's playing Maureen Evans, and her boyfriend in the movie, Omar Epps, who's playing Phil Stevens. And if you know anything about this movie, they're basically, the killers are going after people who either have the first name of a victim of Woodsboro, or somebody who has the same name, or the same person in Scream 1. Maureen Evans is Maureen Prescott, and Phil Stevens is Stephen Orth. The movie that they are seeing is Stab, and it is based on the events of the first movie, and this entire opening scene, I just love the atmosphere. You can feel it through the screen. After those deaths happen, we cut to Randy and Sidney in college. Sidney is an aspiring actress, and Randy's a film student. And I just think that they put Sidney as an actress, stage actress, in this movie, just to have her and Randy in the same location. After the deaths start happening, Dewey comes to Sidney's aid, and Gale, who sees that the bodies are starting to drop again, sees a chance to write a new book. The new cast is basically to fill in spots for the people that we lost in Scream 1. We have Derek, Sidney's boyfriend, and we have Hallie, her roommate. Derek and Hallie were supposed to be the original killers in the original script, but that got changed. Now, a thing I found creepy in this movie when I was a little kid was Ghostface in the background, like sneaking in and popping up out of nowhere. I remember first seeing that in the CC scene in this movie, but this movie is also the first Scream sequel to kill off a beloved character, and that is Randy. Randy dies, and in an uncharacteristic way, too. He turns his back while he's talking to the killer on the phone from a white news van. Joel's news van. Joel is Gale's cameraman, and he turns his back, and the killer nabs him, stabs him, overpowers him, and slices his throat open. And yet some people are saying that the person that did that couldn't have done that because she is a she. And they're also saying that about the new Scream as well. And I do not agree with that. The Dewey attack scene in the editing room and the cat and mouse game with Gale and Ghostface, I thought that was shot beautifully. And the killers are somebody who's pretty obvious because he disappeared throughout the middle of the movie. It was Mickey. And the big twist is the second killer is Mrs. Loomis, Billy's mom. So Billy's mom just wanted to kill Gale, Dewey, Randy, and Sidney. Billy wanted to blame the movies and get a trial. All in all, Scream 2 is one of the best Scream sequels and one of the best horror sequels in my mind out of all of them. I personally enjoy Scream 2. I love Scream 2. But it's not the best. We all know which one is the best. And now on to my second favorite Scream movie. And now coming in second place, this one's going to surprise a lot of you. My second favorite Scream movie is going to be Scream 5, aka Scream 2022. Like many of you, I was skeptical going into this movie because this is the first one without Wes Craven. It felt weird, but I had faith in the team that directed and wrote this movie. And they did a pretty good job in my mind. This is the first Scream movie that Sidney is not the main target. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. I'll wait a second. Melissa Barrera plays Sam Carpenter. She is the daughter of Billy Loomis. Billy cheated on Sidney during Scream 1, or like maybe before Scream 1 took place. Her half-sister Tara is the opening attack. She's played by Jenna Ortega, and from the moment she was casted and we see the trailer, I knew she was going to survive. Because I knew from the person sitting down in the wheelchair that was Jenna Ortega. I can tell like by her body movement that was her. I could tell by like the way that they were like moving and they were acting that was her, because I've seen Jenna Ortega in a lot of movies and all that. And we have legacy characters. The twins are related to Randy, and they're also related to the mother, who is Martha Meeks. They are played by Mason Gooding. He plays Chad, and his sister is Jasmine, and she is Mindy. And I thought that was amazing that we have Meeks in this movie. The kills in this movie were brutal, man. And they had the balls to kill Dewey off. Not in just a stabby way. He got gutted. He got stabbed in the stomach. Knife got drug up from his stomach, and he got stabbed in the back, and his back got drug up. He got gutted. He got killed bad. Wes Hicks and Judy Hicks, they had some brutal death scenes too. Out in broad daylight with Judy Hicks. And Wes had a knife to the throat. That was brutal. And they were teasing a psycho death, because Wes was taking a shower and the killer was like in the house or near the house. The attacks in this were good too, in my mind. All in all, this is a good movie. I enjoyed it. If you haven't seen it yet, go see it. Or if you're skeptical, it's worth a watch. Watch it 2 times. Trust me. And now on to the obvious best Scream movie of all time. Coming in first place, to be no surprise, is the original Scream. When Drew Barrymore signed on for Scream, the first Scream movie, she had the bright idea to play Casey Beckard and be the opening kill. And that's the first time that somebody had the name value that she did be an opening kill in a horror movie. With that, Wes Craven reinvented the slasher horror genre with a horror classic. Scream is loved by many people because you have Neve Campbell, who plays Sidney Prescott. You have David Arquette, who plays Dwight Riley. And you have Gary Weathers, played by Coney Cox. And is Dwight Dewey Riley, I'm sorry. Screech Ulrich played Billy Loomis. And Matthew Lillard playing Stu, Rose McGowan playing Tatum. He had a pretty good cast in this movie. From top to bottom, this movie was good. The movie follows Sidney Prescott, whose mother was killed a year prior to the movie, and they have never found the body, but her mom was dead. It was pretty well known that she was dead. And Gail Weathers wrote a book. Flash forward a year later, Sidney Prescott lives in Woodsboro still with her father. Her father leaves town. And this is right after the Casey Becker kill. And from there, the 2 killers just terrorize Sidney and the town of Woodsboro. The killers being Billy Loomis and Stu Macher, aka Matthew Lillard and Screech Ulrich. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was one of the best slasher movies ever, and it still is one of the best slasher movies ever to this day. Would that work in today's day and age? Maybe, maybe not, because we have caller ID now. I'm pretty sure that this is the reason that caller ID became a thing for almost everybody. But Scream is such a classic. Wes Craven struck lightning when he made it. This is arguably one of the best horror movies ever made. And Wes Craven, he's the mastermind behind two horror movie series. This and A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love Scream. I'll always love Scream. And this movie started it all. When I was little, my brother dressed up as Ghostface and terrorized me. And that made... And I watched the movie for the first time when I think I was 4, 5. And I loved the movie ever since. And I love the series ever since. Neve Campbell is one of the best final girls ever, in my mind. So that's going to do it for my ranking video. It goes 1, 5, 2, 3, and 4. I want to thank you guys for watching, and please be sure to like and subscribe and tap the little bell on that YouTube app so you guys never miss an upload. And the next time I come to you on CageTalk should be my WrestleMania predictions, and after that will be the 50th episode, which will be the 2022 NFL Mock Draft. And those both will be coming out in April, so it's going to be a little bit of a break again. Thank you guys once again. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and take care.